Welcome folks to my latest video. Today we're making a garden gate. It's not essential that you use a pallet for this. You can obviously buy the boards brand new, but the one I use is pretty good. It was a British gypsum 8-foot long pallet. You tend to find that the boards are in pretty good nick because when they've had plaster boards on top of them, people tend to be quite careful around them because they don't want to damage the boards. As a result, the pallets tend to be half decent, and actually the posts that you can take out of them, the shorter, thicker pieces, end up making good planters for your garden as well. So if you want to know how to make one, follow me. It's also given me the opportunity to play with my latest toy. I didn't make a video for this, but this is an attachment I've made for my crosscut sled. Basically it fits inside the two ends and you just hold it in place so that it doesn't move with some grips, and then the boards sit against here and along this edge, and then the table saw can cut the end off at 45 degrees, leaving a drip edge on the bottom of the boards for the gate. Quick change then with the table saw, put the lid on, got my grips holding the board in place. I'm just going to rip the top off with the belt sander. So yesterday went on the rob over the trading estate, just on the hunt for some wood. Actually caught a couple of people nicking something from one of the factories and got in their good books. Got one of the old packing cases that was in good nick, and they've cut down really nicely. They're over 10 foot long, so I've got loads of timber there. Got it all on the roof rack and got it home, and as you can see it's really good stuff. Just needs to be trimmed up where some of the edges have been knocked about, so I'm going to do that now on the table saw. Next thing I've done then is I've pocket hole screwed all of the boards together just to sort of see how it's looking initially, and I'm quite happy with it so far. The one thing that I have to deal with is that at the end there's no pocket holes in, because obviously I've tried to keep the holes underneath where the braces are going to be on the back so that they're hidden. So these boards at the top end are going to have to be glued together initially, and then I'll be banding them towards the end of the job. In the meantime, I've screwed them together so that I can draw the arch on. I can then see which parts are going to be cut off, put in some extra pocket holes temporarily, and then whilst the glue goes off, these will be tightened together, pulling the boards nice and tight. The pocket holes do actually cause the boards to want to curve up a little bit, so whilst that goes off, I shall just brace it temporarily with some clamps, and that should sort that problem out. That's all done then. I've clamped the top together so it's nice and straight. Those will dry in a few hours. I've left the top brace off at the moment because it'll be in the way of the jigsaw when I cut the arch out tomorrow. The middle and the bottom braces are already on, so that it's already nice and solid with just needs finishing off at this top end. Getting there now. Done a couple of extra bits then. I've cut off this arch on the top and fitted the last horizontal brace on the top as well. Still got the two diagonal ones to do. So I'm just going to put a mark here where the diagonal one and the horizontal one cross on both sides. I shall now square that up to the top surface, draw a line across, cut it off, and that'll give me the right angle to go up against there. Do that the same on all the other joins. You've got to remember that when you do the diagonal ones, this is going to be the hinge side, and the diagonal ones have to start at the bottom where the hinges are. They then go up towards the top corner, and that pushes the gate up that way and stops it sagging down over time. So I've given the gate a few liberal coats of wood preserver. I've used the Cuprinol brand clear wood preserver, and it really penetrates the wood very well, protects it from rotting and mould. So I've also fitted the hinges, and to make sure that it's in the right position both this way and also straight in this direction, I'll mark out the distance halfway between these two sides of the board for this hole here, and then the part that goes up against the post I'll push up against the side of the gate. Wherever this hole lines up with the mark you've made, that's the position of your hinge. Mark out the positions of each hole then using a brad awl, and use some self-tapping screws. This job begins with taking the old gate off initially, which is easy enough. This is the finished gate. It's had a few coats of the protection on it, and I've put some T-coil on the band across the top just for extra resistance against the water getting in. The posts that the gate's going to be attached to, I've had to put a wedge on the side of this one because this wall that it's going up against is out of level, so that just brings it over and makes it so that I've got something for the fixings to attach to. This one's, the wall is out, it's not dead straight, but actually from top to bottom it does work out level. So the old gate's off and the posts are off. I've got the new posts ready to go in. I've already built them so that they're going to be level and nicely snug against the walls. And I've just got these little scrap pieces of old pallet that I'm never going to use for anything in building wise, and I've cut them off at the right length, so I should be able to just wedge them in across and hold the posts in position while I mark out the holes for the screws. I've just attached the post on this side, and that's smack on. And so is that one. Wicked. And there's the finished item. The latch needs a bit of WD-40 on it as it's sticking in that top position, but it's nothing to worry about. The bolt goes in perfect. All done.